In the next few minutes here, I'm going to go over why PHP Agency may be the right company for you and how it's helped me go from breakdancing in the entertainment industry to getting into insurance and then last year netting just shy of $1 million of income. My name is Jonathan Mason. I'm a co-founder here with PHP Agency. And 11 years ago, I got started with PHP, coming from the entertainment business as a breakdancer, bar mitzvah, MC kind of guy, and then getting into the insurance business, not having any experience, not having a background in finance, but because of the training and the platform that PHP provided me over the last 11 years, it's been a wild ride. I've been able to take the family overseas several times. I just took mom and dad to Italy, to Greece, Croatia. We had a beautiful trip out there with the company. My brother and his girl also came along. Even in 2 weeks from now, we're actually going to Hawaii. My dad's birthday was last week. It's my parents' 50th anniversary, so we get to celebrate their anniversary, my dad's birthday, and they've never flown first class. We've upgraded them to first class. We're going to Hawaii. They've never been. Right now, I'm currently driving a $250,000 Audi R8, the Iron Man car. Picked it up with 0 miles on it. I got a beautiful penthouse downtown. I mean, the life that the industry at PHP has provided the last several years has been absolutely phenomenal. And today I'm going to be going over 7 points of why I got started with PHP, and even more importantly, why I'm still with them 11 years later. Before I get into the points behind me, let's talk about the current state of affairs. Did you ever imagine a day when the country would just shut down? Can we agree the last couple of months have been kind of strange? Right now I'm filming, it's February of 2021. And what's very interesting is going into the new year, I'm thinking about what happened last year when all of a sudden I'm hearing about people losing their job after 15, 20 years. They did nothing wrong, but the company was shutting down. Their long-term retirement savings became their short-term emergency fund. Now we're relying on the government for more help. We have kids that are staying home from school because the schools are getting shut down. Marriages are being torn apart because of finances and the stress that's there, because now they got to figure out a way to balance the kids and their new job. What was going on last year? But what's interesting is because of what happened, people are now starting to question conventional ways of doing business. The way that we did business 20, 30 years ago, maybe it's not relevant today. Maybe it's time to adapt and pivot today. And what's very interesting is throughout the time last year, not only did the insurance industry, but PHP grew tremendously because we were able to pivot and adapt to current times. It's now been proven, PHP has been proven to be not just recession-proof, but also pandemic-proof. Because what do people want today? When you're taught to go to school, get your degree, get a job, what do you really want long-term? You want stability, and you want something that's steady. That's what the insurance industry and PHP has provided myself and thousands of agents across the country. So getting into all the points right now, let's talk about point number 1, is the insurance industry, specifically life insurance. Now think about this. If you're looking for an income, what are you looking for? The 2 S's, something steady and something stable. Last year proved that that salary isn't so steady, isn't so stable that it can be taken away from you. What I find interesting about insurance, yes, it may be on commission, but if you commit to commission, it actually is steady and stable, because last year, the insurance sector actually grew. And if you look at how big the sector is, maybe you've never been in insurance before, and you're looking, hear me out for a second. If you went downtown right now, wherever you live, if you live downtown Tampa, if you live downtown Orlando, where I live, if you live Jacksonville, South Florida, wherever it is, go look up. Who owns the tallest, biggest buildings? It's banks, insurance companies. Who owns the banks? The insurance companies. Look to your left, look to your right. What do you see? Insurance backs what? Everything up. It's the highest paying, most powerful industry in the world, but it's also credible. And here's what I found so interesting. Most of us are taught what? We have to go to school, spend all this money on student loans, and get this piece of paper, this degree, and we're still not even guaranteed a job or income. All I have to do to get into insurance is invest $200-300 to get my license through the state, and I can have my license within 1 week. But we don't talk about that. Why? Because most of us think that insurance is what? Boring, lethargic, it's slow. No. I'm having more fun here in PHP than I had doing the bar mitzvahs back in the day. So if you're looking for something fun, an industry that's steady and stable, maybe the insurance sector is for you, maybe PHP is for you. Another thing that I love about the insurance industry is that it's a 2,000-plus-year-old industry, and it's only getting bigger. So point number 2 is entrepreneurship. Let me ask you a question. Who makes more money? The top car sales guy or the person owning the dealership? The guy that owns the dealership. Who makes more money? The top real estate agent or the broker that has 100 agents that overrides all the agents? That's my point. So if ownership, business ownership, entrepreneurship is the way to go, why don't we spend more time and resources learning about entrepreneurship or owning a business. Here's some things that I found. A lot of us want to own our own business, but one, typically costs a lot of money. And number two, there's no training or support, so we're just trying to figure things out by ourselves. Now, what I love about PHP Agency is they've given us a platform, which I'll talk about in a second, to become an entrepreneur in the insurance sector. Yes, we have training every week. We have hands-on training, live trainings. Right now, as I'm filming, there's 20,000 plus licensed agents in the company. I mean, I just looked at the numbers. January of 2020 to January 2021, just the Januaries, we're up 72+% in just licensing alone. So the company is growing, the industry is growing, and we're glad to contribute to the industry, but I love the fact that our firm is growing and we're getting more people licensed into the industry, into the marketplace, becoming business owners, because when you start a business, guess what you've also done? You've created opportunity. And I love the fact that we're not just creating opportunity for more people on a part-time basis, so you can work with our firm on a part-time basis and become full-time agents, but you're learning from people that are in the industry, in the company, that have a proven track record. I love the fact that I can learn from people that have been with the firm and the industry 10, 15 years that are making $1 million, $2 million plus a year. I mean, listen, there's people out there in the industry, guys, that have been around 5, 10, 15 years. They've never made more than 100, 150,000 a year, never built an office or anything like that, and they're acting like they're experts, and that's fine. But I love the fact of learning from people with a proven track record. I love the fact that I can learn from Matt and Sheena Sapalo that are multi-million-dollar earners in our firm, and now Sheena's become a chairman of the board with our company. Matt Sapalo is a chief distribution officer, CDO with our firm. I love the fact that I get to learn from our CEO and founder, Patrick David, who's got the #1 channel, Valuetainment, on social media. We'll talk about it in a minute. I love the fact that I can learn from other current million-dollar earners that are in the country, in the company, around the country rather, and they're open to sharing. They're saying, hey, here's how we're doing this. They're not guys that have done it one time. These are people that have earned 6 and 7 figures over and over, but they've also developed and trained multiple 6-figure and 7-figure earners. Point number 3, platform. There's several parts to the platform. First is the system. When it comes to systems that we have, we're a lead generating and revenue generating system. We're not a lead-based kind of company. Well, why is that? Number one, leads are typically very expensive. 2, they've already been called 1,000 times. Number 3, the chargebacks, the cancellations are typically 3 times higher in a lead generating market. And at the same time, let me ask you a question. Maybe you've been in the business or you've been in a different business where you have to buy leads. Are you really in the best of markets? Probably not. And that's the challenge that a lot of people are seeing, that maybe you had one good week and one bad week. And if you're only relying on leads, and when leads are not there, how do you generate business long term? That's the other issue most people are seeing. Now, we build a business based off of trust and credibility. I wanted to be a part of a platform, of a system where I can establish myself as an expert, build a relationship with someone, and then learn how to build my business off of referrals, because those policies stay on the books long term. The other challenge I see with just relying on leads is that they're traditionally just going to be for one product or for one thing. At the same time, is if you're only offering one thing and you have to kind of steer the client that way, are you really offering the best option to that client? Ask yourself a question. If you're not going to sell it to your own mother, why would you sell it to mine? Another thing that I love about our platform is that we have multiple insurance carriers, and these are A-rated, some of the largest and most powerful companies in the industry that we get to sit down and shop, where number one, we don't have a minimum. So if people take their finances or money seriously, we can sit down, ask them, what are your needs, what are your goals, go shop the marketplace and offer them the best option that's for them, not the only thing that we had. Another thing that I love about our platform is that I started part-time. You can actually start part-time. You can keep your job, get licensed, go through the training process, build up your business on a part-time basis. There's no quota. You're vested from day one. You own your book. You get your residuals. There are agents that have left, and we still pay them, so your clients are also yours. So I love the fact that we can do this on a part-time basis, because in today's economy, let's face it, most incomes are not getting us where we want to go. Most people need a secondary, something on the side, and this could be that great opportunity for you. Another part of the platform is the compensation, not just in the insurance industry, but also in PHP Agency. You know, if you've never been in insurance, I'm going to give you some weird numbers, but if you've been in insurance, you know that we get paid pretty crazy. You know, PHP, it pays up to 198%. Yes, I said it correctly. I know that's kind of weird. But what I love is I started off as a trainee. I was a brand new guy at one point, no experience, no market. I had to learn the ropes, and I was able to build up the business. But because of how PHP pays between residual income that keeps coming in no matter what, bonuses, overrides, spreads, new business being placed, all this good stuff, here's what's happened. Last month in January, I had the coronavirus. I had COVID. And the COVID turned into pneumonia. I was coughing. It was horrible. I mean, it's probably one of the best weight loss programs ever because you're sweating for 7 days, 7 nights. It's pretty crazy. But what I found interesting, 3.5 weeks I was off. I didn't run any appointments. I only worked the last 3 days of January. And because I was able to build up a business, and through our compensation plan, because of the business that we were able to build up on our platform, PHP still paid me over $75,000 of income take home net in my account. Why? Because I was able to build the business on our platform. Other families are being served, agents are being helped, new agents are being licensed. So the business is actually growing because our platform allows that between our training and our structure. Point number 4 is technology. Now, technology is part of platform, but I wanted to give it its own number. Why? Because you look at technology today, it's always changing. But currently, we're the only fintech company that has a software called Bamboo. It's all proprietary software. We own it. It's ours. Well, what is Bamboo? We invested several $1 million into the software that every agent with PHP has access to. It does all the heavy lifting for you, meaning it submits my new business for me. It updates all my numbers for me, does all my tracking. It updates every 3 seconds. I can see what's going on with all of my agents, all the data, every 3 seconds across the country. It does my commissions for me. It does my new business for me. It does my CRM options for me. I can contact any agent I want, all the numbers there, and it's not just on the computer, it's on the app. And everything's being upgraded and updated where they're updating the CRM systems, they're updating, it's almost like a sales constant contact manager all combined into one. And that's our system. So we're a fintech company, but as I'm speaking to you today, we're currently the only company in the insurance industry that has this software. Point number 5 is social media. I love social media. The challenge is a lot of companies don't want you to actually use social media, or they're not training you on how to properly use social media. They're either saying, stay away from it, don't use it, whatever it is. We love it. We want you to come to our firm, get everything ready to rock and roll, and build your brand. You can build your brand on our platform. We encourage you. We'll train you how to do it. Why? That's called entrepreneurship. We want you to represent the company, but you also have something to say. You have a voice. Go ahead. What market do you want to get into? You be the voice for that market. I love the fact that our CEO is so passionate about entrepreneurship. So guess what? He started a channel called Valuetainment. Maybe you've seen it right now. It's got about 2.9, almost 3 million subs on YouTube. It's currently the #1 channel for entrepreneurship. A couple of years ago, there's a video called Life of an Entrepreneur in 90 Seconds. One of my favorite videos of all time. And being an entrepreneur, if you are, go watch the video. You can relate to this video, share it, like it, comment with your friends. But also, you look at Matt Sapala with a firm who's got now 7-Figure Squad. Go look up 7-Figure Squad. You'll see the videos. And by the way, what we talk about on these videos, it's not just money and finance. We talk about how to be a better husband, how to be a better person, how to be better with your money. It's not just about business. It's about life. It's about becoming better at what we do, better at our craft, better in our marriages, better in our relationships. That's what I love watching these videos. So if you want to go look up 7-Figure Squad, Matt's got a broad array of different topics, especially being a retired Marine. Also, our CEO's retired Army. So it's kind of funny. If Army and Marine, you guys go back and forth. But a retired Marine who's big with the veteran market, big with the military market. And by the way, if you are a veteran, thank you for your service. But go check out Valuetainment. Go check out 7-Figure Squad. Even myself, John Mason Money, you got the channel. Like it, comment, and share it. But we love the fact that if you want to build a social media brand, this is the place to do it. Point number 6 is the main reason why I got started with PHP and why I'm still here, and that is culture. What do you mean by culture? You see, I'm a competitor. I grew up playing sports, every different sport. My main one was soccer. And while I was playing soccer, I had that feeling of camaraderie because I had my team. We had our crew. There was an environment. There was togetherness. Then even getting into the entertainment business, when I was with the breakdancing crew, we had the same kind of camaraderie, the same kind of environment, culture, fun, excitement, competition. It was there because we attract a lot of people that come from the military because they miss those locker room talks. They like the camaraderie. I got your back, you got mine. We attract a lot of athletes. It's the same thing there. There's that camaraderie of, I'm going to kick your butt today, but how can I help you kick mine? Because I want to have some fun along the way. We attract a lot of athletes. We attracted Tommy Clark, who's up in Jacksonville. He played professional basketball overseas for a while and got into banking after that, doing mortgages. A little bored out of his mind. He says, John, I need some fun, need some excitement. He gets started with PHP. Now he's making a multiple 6-figure income working out of the Jacksonville office there. He actually runs that office up there. And he's also working with Bianca Riss. Bianca Riss comes from medical device sales. I believe she was also an athlete in college as well. She was also a cheerleader in college, did a couple things competitive-wise. And she's making a multiple six-figure income as a single mother right now, building the business up there in Jacksonville. We attracted Cooper Cowan in Jacksonville as well, who's also a six-figure earner. He played baseball in college. I believe he hurt his shoulder or his elbow, one of the injuries that ended his career. Took that same competition, the same juice in a tank, brought it to PHP, making a six-figure income for itself. We attracted, on a part-time basis, Chris and Amanda Stacy. Chris and Amanda Stacy, part-time fitness competitors. They got the six-packs going, right? The six-packs, just probably the fittest couple. Their team name's called Fit for a reason. And part-time, they're making 50 grand with us. They just went full-time recently. But here's another part about our environment that I love. You know what people say? Oh, you don't want to do business with your friends and family. BS. I love doing business with friends and family. I get to work with my big brother every day. That's freaking amazing. You know what's kind of cool? I know what you're thinking, by the way. Yes, I am the better looking one. I know you're asking. It's okay. Well, let's just settle it right now. But I love my big brother because here's what's so nice. Some companies, oh, you don't want to do that. Hold on. First off, I love to get a chance to work with them on a day-to-day. We help each other out. We get to see the family more. But here's what's kind of cool. Here's why I love our environment. My brother, his girlfriend also, Fernanda, they come from entertainment. My brother's a big-time DJ, producer. He's got a brand called Officially Addicted, had a #1 hit song a couple years ago. And they were in that world for almost a decade. And they saw some things changing. They said, John, listen, we want to start working with you. I said, what's going on? Well, we see the industry changing. We're looking ahead. I want some longevity, stability, like we just talked about. I want to start working with you. I said, listen, what do you know about insurance, sales, finance? You know what they said? Nothing. I said, if you're open, I'll teach you. He said, well, we'll learn. So from scratch, not having any market, no sales experience, no insurance background, no financial background, nothing, coming from DJing, their first year working with myself and PHP made over $150,000 a year. And it's growing with no experience. That's why I love working with my family, because my family and I, we get to build a business together. You know, when my mom calls me, she sends the mass text, love you guys. So it's kind of nice that when we look at our parents, they look at their kids like, hey, we did good. You know, my dad's always like, yeah, you know, I'm the creator, right? my dad's funny, right? My dad's got some jokes. But I love the fact that you get to work with your spouse, you get to work with your siblings. We have a lot of different couple powers that work with the company. Why? Because most companies say, well, I'm going to go work here, you work there. No, 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 no. You see, we build our business off of MVPs. What are MVPs? Morals, values, principles. I love the fact that that's our language. Most people are working for companies where they're overlooked, undervalued, underpaid. Their boss doesn't care. If you don't perform, you're out of here. There's no loyalty anymore. We have so many ways that we can develop people on our platform. The first thing is the Book of the Month Club. We have a Book of the Month Club. What company? Why? Because we want our guys to grow. One thing is I can say confidently, if you've known me for the last 10 years where I am today, PHP has helped me become a better man, a better leader, a better son, a better brother. I mean, it's crazy just even looking back 10 years ago where I was. I was making dumb mistakes, partying too much. I needed to mature and take on more responsibility to mature in life. And this platform and the leadership in the company helped me with that. I love the fact that we have men's group and women's group. Our CEO in December recently said, guys, let's do a competition. Let's get all the men on a call, because maybe you're in a relationship, maybe you're in your marriage, and you got to find some, maybe you have some challenges. Well, it's nice to get together with the guys and say, hey, let's process this as men. Ladies, same thing. Obviously, the ladies are typically more open than guys. Guys don't want to talk about their stuff. It's just one of those ego things. We even have a PHP ladies in PHP that's just for ladies. Competitions just for ladies. We'll send the women that qualify go to San Francisco. I think we sent them to New York. Other fun stuff we do. Why? Because we want to bring out the next best version of you. And that's one thing I love about MVPs. We build on our morals, values, principles. We brought in Gary Chapman. If you guys haven't read 5 Love Languages, great book. He was a keynote speaker at our event. Why would you do that? We brought in the author of, what's the book? Love and Respect, great book on relationships. Why? Because if you are working with your spouse, don't you want to know how to communicate better? Because most people are fighting because lack of communication. So now we're talking about building a business with not just your spouse, not just your brother, your sister, but how to build an agency, okay, with different people, different personalities, and you need morals, values, and principles to connect with other people, how to treat other people, lift them up and inspire. And here's the other part that I like about that. When you're going through tough times, what kind of phone call do you need? Do you need a phone call of what the hell are you doing? Why aren't you performing? Or do you need the phone call saying, hey, how can I help? Even just the other day, I got a phone call from home office, a guy named Tigran, amazing guy. Going through, I'm getting over COVID, all that kind of stuff. He said, Johnny, how you doing? I said, what do you mean? He said, how you doing? Just, how are you doing? I get calls from our CEO, Patrick, all the time. Johnny, how you doing? I get calls from sidelines, guys around the country. How you doing? See, there's a bond in our company that most companies don't have. We all work together. If you wear the PHP brand, we got your back. That's one thing I love. But here's the other part about culture that I love. Incentives. I love incentives. What do you mean by incentives? Listen, we like material items, guys. Let's call it like it is. We like material stuff. People judge us by our cars, our clothes, our jewelry. It is what it is. Now, there's certain things that we get excited about. For me, when I got started, I wanted a Ferrari. I know. Listen, it was one of my things. I just wanted a Ferrari. And what's so interesting is I've never driven a Ferrari. I had no idea what it's like. This platform, this environment will stretch your vision and mindset because most of us have limiting beliefs. Those limiting beliefs were placed upon us when we were kids, and now we're bringing those into our adult life. So next thing you know, our CEO decides to get a Ferrari. He knows he did this on purpose. He knows I wanted a Ferrari. He gets a Ferrari. I think it was a 458 Ferrari. We're in Dallas at an event. The event wraps up. He says, Johnny, come here. So what's going on? He says, let's go for a ride. I'm like, all right, I get the ride in the car. He says, no. Come here. I said, what do you mean, come here? Here, I'm driving a $350,000 car, and I have no idea what to do. Why? You know that saying, if you break it, you buy it? Yeah. I better not break it. I don't have the money to buy it. So I'm driving the car, right? I'm driving the car. By the way, it's a little bumpy, right? And next thing you know, he says, hit it. Hit what? Like, I don't want to hit nothing. He says, hit it. Like, down. Listen, the car had hydraulics when I'm driving. It was back and forth. And this is a bright red Ferrari. You cannot miss it. So I'm driving this Ferrari. I'm like, damn, this is so sexy. But you know what's interesting? It made me believe that I actually can have one. A couple months later, a company had a competition for all the exotics in Vegas. We rented all the exotics in Vegas for the top performers. And our office, I was in Jacksonville at the time, was #1 in the company. And we were able to qualify. I ended up getting a $500,000 McLaren for the weekend. And by the way, McLarens don't even have handles. Like you have to slide it, and then the door opens up. It was amazing. I said, what am I driving here? And we're driving down the Vegas Strip in a $500,000 McLaren. Then they took us to this beautiful dinner, had an amazing dinner, very expensive dinner, with these James Bond table that came up from the floor. I think the table was $1 million. All these wine. It was incredible. The treatment that we get is absolutely phenomenal. Even in 2 weeks, I get to take my mom and dad for the 50th anniversary, and my dad's birthday was a few days ago. I get to take them to Hawaii for the first. They've never been to Hawaii. They've never flown first class, so we're upgrading them to first class, and I'm taking them to Hawaii. By the way, thank you, PHP. We do trips to Bora Bora. By the way, they're coming to Bora Bora too. They're going to get their own bungalow. They can have their own fun. So they're going to be coming to Bora Bora as well. We've been to Dubai where we rented yachts. We've been to Costa Rica. We've been to Puerto Vallarta. We've been to Cancun multiple times. We all love Cancun. Been to Jamaica when what was the doom buggy things? We were mudding and jumping on all the crazy stuff. We're in Costa Rica, and we're doing the zip lines through the forest, through the fog, through the clouds. Incredible experiences that the company allows us to not just, hey, by the way, if you do this, this, and this, you're going to qualify for. But they always up the ante. We'll do different things like, you know what? Rather than here's a Louis Vuitton bag, we're going to do bars of gold. We'll do trips to the Maldives. We do some crazy stuff. I think Rodolfo and Ceci Vargas a few months ago, they won a trip to Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills. Here you go, shopping spree. We like to have some fun, do things differently. We have big events. We bring in our lineup for big events are insane. We've had Kevin Hart was a keynote speaker a year or so ago, right before he came out with Irresponsible Tour on Netflix. We've had Magic Johnson come as a keynote speaker. We had Kobe Bryant before he passed away, a couple months before he passed away. He was a keynote speaker at our event. We had Wayne Gretzky show up at our event. We have Joe Coy. Joe Coy, sleep out, right? Joe Coy is going to be our keynote speaker coming up in the event this summer in Las Vegas. We've had President Bush. As by the way, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, it's irrelevant. The language of the leadership that he was speaking was so on point. Everyone fell in love with the training and the language of what George Bush was speaking about. But the fact is, we have a good time. Our incentives are fun. We always do things a little bit differently. And here's the thing I like about incentives. It's free enterprise. It doesn't matter if you're the newest person or the veteran. The newest person can qualify for all these trips. The veterans still have to do their part. There is no seniority here. Those corporations where they say, oh, I've been here for 5 years, so nope. That's the best part. Free enterprise. See, one thing about our culture, you have to understand about culture. Culture is going to drive your behavior. Culture is going to set the expectation. So culture drives the behavior, sets the expectation, and that's going to be your future. Everything starts with culture. Point number 7, the last point, which brings us all together, is safety. Now, what do I mean by safety? Most people don't even know if they have a job on Monday. If you're in sales, you miss your quota, you're not performing, what can they do? They can take away your territory, take away your accounts, take away your team. They can change the comp plan on you, make it harder for you to hit your bonuses, whatever it may be. Happens all the time. You know what's crazy? I've been with PHP for 11 years. That hasn't happened even one time. They always make the comp better. They're always there to support us in the field because our philosophy is field is king. They know that field is king and they do everything they can to take care of us. In business, guys, look, we're not here to be perfect, but life is about getting better. It's about progress. I've had some very bad years where I wasn't a top performer. I was off my game, distracted, things came up. Life happens, man. I'm not perfect. But when I was going through that stuff, you know what happened? I didn't get phone calls saying, what the hell are you doing? We're moving your team away from you. I didn't get any of that. You know what I got from our CEO, from our VPs, from my sidelines? Johnny, how you doing? What's going on? You know what question they asked? How can I help? What do you need? What's going on? I love the fact that when I had coronavirus last month and I couldn't work, I couldn't speak because I was coughing all the time with the pneumonia kicking in. Matt and Sheena Sapala, who are the busiest people I've seen in the company, they still found time to call my brokers, to call my team. They let me know, well, obviously we're text messaging, but they found time to speak with these guys on live Zooms, and they were chipping in and helping out. Amazing. That kind of support from the leadership. Does your company do that? Does your CEO do that? Because ours does. And I love that about our culture, which makes me feel safe here. I love the fact that no matter what's going on in life, they have our back. I love the fact that, you know, 2013 was a weird year, okay? I had to borrow $700 from my dad for rent, okay? Maybe you've had to borrow money too. It's not fun, it is what it is. And I realized that it was my fault, meaning I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. But I did realize that I was the problem, I'm also the solution. I got my butt to work. Over 2 years, I got my income up to almost $250,000 at the time, around $240 and change. I paid off $20,000 in debt, paid my dad back. Things were getting better. And then what's so interesting is, in November of 2015, I find out that my parents have a 5-figure plus debt. It's not, not fun to see. And because of the system, because of the company, okay, after finding out about the debt, we had some conversations.
You're out of your mind.
I was able to write a check.
Can you do this?
And help pay off the debt. Do you understand the feeling of being able to do that for your family? Guys, I like cars. I'm sure you like nice things, material items, but what's the point of all this money if we can't take care of our family? Why are we going to work Monday through Friday? Now it's Monday through Saturday. And we have nothing to show for it at the end of the week. I love the fact that I'm in an environment, in a company that makes me feel safe, that I'll always have an income coming in. I'll always have a business because I have my sidelines and leadership that's always there to support me, to lift me up, to make me better, to challenge me, encourage me, help bring out the next best version of me, help keep the teams together. It's a very special environment that I can't explain. You just kind of have to feel. It's like watching a movie. I can't tell you to go watch the movie, get the same emotions. You watch it to get your own emotions. I love the fact that even now, till to this day, my parents haven't paid a bill in 5 years. Going on 6 years, haven't paid a bill. Why? I decided to get my butt to work. I decided to mature. I decided to make some changes. I wanted to step up, be the leader of the family. I said, Daddy-o, Mama, I got you. I got you. That's why when we go to Hawaii, we're upgrading to the first class. We're going to Bora Bora. I want them to have the best freaking life. I want to enjoy my time with my family. I feel safe here. That no matter what happens, the team, the company, the leadership has my back. So here's your call to action. Here's a call to action. If you're sitting here watching this video saying, John, a little crazy, but I like him, right? You're sitting there saying, John, you hit some pretty interesting points. I'm actually in the insurance business, but I never looked at it that way before. Maybe you're saying, John, I've never looked at insurance this way. I'm pretty intrigued and I'm pretty serious. I'd like to have a conversation. Reach out to me directly. Go to my Instagram channel. It's John Mason Money, Jon Mason Money. Hit me up, say what's going on. Also on here on YouTube as well, here on Facebook, all the channels, I'm available. Say what's up. Reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. If you're serious, there are some doors that we can open, but it's going to be your responsibility to walk through. So with that being said, have a great day, take care, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.